Hey guys, Kev here, and it is time for Q3 Knives of the Year update, whatever you want to call it. I try to do it every quarter to kind of see where we're at. What's new? What's come out that I'm excited about or that's really top tier for me? And I gotta say, there's not a lot that I still have. I sell a lot of stuff, and if it's not exceptional for me personally, it gets moved along pretty quick. I do have things loaned out, but I don't know if anything on this list is loaned out. I'm not sure. Or that would be anyway. So what I'll do is I'll run through the stuff that I think has already been on the list and let you know if it's still on the list. Then I'm going to hit you with the ones that aren't new releases but this year, but they're kind of updates to ones that came out before. For example, in the last quarter, the Jaegers dropped, and I believe these were honorable mentions because they came out last year, so they're not going to count towards Knife of the Year this year. But these are new versions of it, and I did get them this year, so I wanted to add them to the list. So these were Q2 honorable mentions. By the way, I got the multi-row skiffs in here, and the more I flick these, the more they're breaking in, and they're insane. So just so you know, hopefully he gets those out over at Skiff Made Blades. So real quick, I want to hit you with an honorable mention. I know it's stupid, but my own design with Colin over at Devo Knives, the Devo Knives Stout dropped in this quarter. The pre-orders were filled, and I would be remiss if I did not include it. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and include it as one of my knives of the quarter or whatever. This is my thing. I'm not that egotistical. You know what I mean? I just want to show my knife off and give myself a little credit. We pulled it off. We did a pre-order. It did very well. Thank you guys so much for the support. We are doing another pre-order October 15th for the Devo Knives Buzz, which if you like the Stout, I think the Buzz is even a step above where we were at with this one. We got Bestech making that one. Full titanium scales with titanium liners with steel insert. So, no lock bar to deal with at all. If you're a lefty, that's important. If you're a righty, it's awesome too because it does have a front flipper wheel, and not having a lock bar is huge when it comes to that. It's a Warncliffe blade and a little bit more of a streamlined design compared to the Stout, which I think is hit or miss for people. Anyway, the Devo Stout, I think, is hopefully going to be one of those knives that people remember for being a really good user. And it's funny that a guy who honestly doesn't use his knives very much designed what I think is such a good user. And it's basically because I designed everything around this tip being useful to get into packages and opening shipping labels and stuff. So it's basically, for me, a utility cutting dream. And it just so happened that the way we designed it, the action is really good. You just get a lot of weight out towards the tip, and that's why it wants to come home like that. Plus, the bolster lock design. I've gone over this before, but basically you have a thin liner down here, sort of liner lock style, and then it thickens up here where the lock bar is. So basically what that gives you is minimal pressure up here at the disengagement point, so you don't need a lot of pressure to disengage, but it also still allows for a good amount of detent pressure, so you can get a snappy detent, yet the way it functions, because it's so thin down here and then thickens up here, on the close, there's just not a lot of pressure getting pushed against the blade. So in the case of a knife like the Jaeger, once you get to here, there's a lot of pressure on that blade being put on by the lock bar, and it makes it to where you got to shake it, not really shake it, but where this, you just don't have that amount of pressure, so it wants to drop. Now, they don't all guillotine, You know, they dropped to here, and like this one, you know, I got to give a little bit of a shake. But anyway, it's kind of a description of why I like a bolster lock, and we're really happy with how these came out. We're really happy with the reception so far. If you got one, we're hoping you're happy with it. If you're not, obviously hit us up and let us know what we can do. But I wanted to show it off because it came out in this quarter, and I'd be sort of an idiot if I didn't self-promote a little bit. So keep your eyes out for the Devo Buzz coming October 15th on pre-order. They should be delivered first quarter of 2023. Obviously, I always try to stretch that as far as I can so that I'm not telling you guys a date that, you know, gets passed. I try to add to it, not subtract to it. So hopefully it's sooner than that, but quarter 1 2023 is what we're shooting for on that one. And we should have stouts available at Blade West, and we may do a drop after that to help support the Buzz pre-order as well. So there's that. Shameless plug over. Sorry. Oh, we also have this one coming. The Devo Growler is going to be dropping, I think, it's looking like November. I should have the updated prototypes tomorrow, actually, my time. All right, so running through the knives that we have already hit this year, it is amazing to me that it's honestly still the same year, and I'm talking about this knife right here. The Mini Tempest here from Sharp by Design, I guess, came out in the first quarter of 2022, and it's sticking around, guys. I really like this knife. Do I carry it a whole lot? Nope, but there's just something about the knife where I just don't want to let it go, and I do really enjoy the design. I think it's the aesthetic is just absolutely stunning to me. And of course I have this one dialed with skiff bearings, drop shut. You got a good front flipper there. You have that fuller that you can attack, especially if you have the drop point so you can reverse flick it. It's been on the list every quarter so far, and it deserves to be on the list. It's going to be a top contender for knife of the year this year. So that is the Sharp by Design Mini Tempest. Maybe I'll leave them out as we go. Next up, we have the Craig Brown Knives FSD. This is a custom knife. And again, this has been on the list every time since it's been released. I'm pretty sure it was in quarter 1 with the Mini Tempest there. I freaking love this knife. I have number 8. This is in 154, I think CPM 154. It has one of the best reverse flicks in the game. For being left-handed, it's just perfect. It's basically a lefty button lock. It'd just be stupid of me to let this one go. It is stupid big. You know, it's a 3.75-inch blade at least. Like this right here is 3.5 inches and is about as big as I like to go on a knife. And you can see the FSD is basically dwarfing it. But there's just something about the FSD, the unique brown lock system, the fact that you can front flick it, you can flip it, you can reverse flick it. If you try, you know, well enough, you can thumb flick it. The beautiful machining work on this. Some people don't like the finish. They think it kind of makes it look raw or makes it look like aluminum. I think it looks absolutely sexy. The landing pad, I mean, the details under there, it says Blaine, Washington under there, which is pretty sweet, which is where it's made, USA. You got the black DLC on the hardware, even though there's only 2 pieces. I would have liked it if he did it on this as well, but I don't know. The action, this is on skiffs, and it is locked up like a bank vault. Just a really unique knife. It's expensive, $800 I think I paid for this guy. But I really like it. The blade shape, you know, drop point. Yeah, I love sheep's foot, but what are you going to do? Hand ground, hollow grind with that beautiful belt satin. Stupid thin. Just sick ass bevels or whatever, swedging, sorry, and the fuller, and it looks like an arrow right here, dead center. I mean, all of these knives are pretty much tuned perfectly. That's why they're still here. That's why I love them, right? This one is the FSD. So that one obviously is also sticking around. Should I set them like this so they, I don't know, whatever. Okay, so Q1. I'm trying to think. I don't know if either of these next ones are Q1, but I got this one right before Blade Show in end of May, early June. So I guess, no, that would be Q2. So these are Q2 knives. We have the Winter Blade Co. Factor. I'll be honest, I haven't really carried this knife or messed around with it in about a month or so. I was carrying it a lot before then, and I think that's going to, kind of re-emerge itself. I just tend to have all these things in for review or my own prototypes or whatever, and it really takes away from knives I love sometimes. So knives like these just don't get carried after they get reviewed and raved about for months, But the Winter Blade Co. Factor speaks for itself in how unique it is, how the ingenuity here from Brian is absolutely fantastic. I love the sheep's foot blade. That's another thing that really just caught my eye on this one. Having that sheep's foot blade helps a lot for me. It's a very good EDC knife. You have a nice thin edge to cut with. It's been great. It's M390. Feels great. That's M390, by the way, too. And that was $4.25. That was $800. I got this on the drop, and I did it myself, guys. I got lucky. I was refreshing like a champ, and I got one. And I went all black because I just thought that would look good, and especially with the lefty side clip, I think it looks fantastic. I did add this screw, or I think Brian did it for me. I can't remember. He also added this little tritium vial back here. I put a little glue on each side to keep it in place, and it glows blue at night, which is pretty cool. But yeah, this one was $375. That's what it was, $375. And if you didn't pre-order one, you didn't do it on purpose. That was your choice, because he left it open for weeks, and he pre-sold like 2,000 of them. So you had your chance. You were being a smarty pants saying, oh, I'm not going to wait 6 months for that. Oh, why would I do that? Oh, his website was messed up for the pre-order, and he's such an asshole. And it was a whole thing. And it was like, dude, the guy he did everything he could. He did everything right. He had the thing set up. He ordered 200 of them to try to have some available ahead of time. And then he opened the pre-order up to anybody who wanted to order. It's basically a waiting list. Yes, you had to pay up front, but and then people got all pissy because the 200 drop was so fast and had these issues. And it basically was just, he was so popular that the drop just blew up his website, and it started screwing shit up, even though he literally did everything he could to prepare for it. So I felt bad for the guy after the drop getting shit like that. If you pre-ordered one, trust me, you're gonna be very happy that you did. You got to be patient. I get it. It sucks, but the magnetic detent is absolutely fantastic. It's going to be a really tough knife of the year contender situation here with these new innovative things like the brown lock and what he's done here, Craig's done here, and then what Brian has done here. I'd say the leader in the clubhouse is probably the Factor as of right now, but I don't know. I really love that knife. So that is the Winter Blade Co. Factor. Then at Blade Show, I picked up the Christensen Maverick S. Matt Christensen did a pre-order with Riyadh. I actually bought 2 of them on pre-order, and then at Blade Show saw this one over at Fanatic Edge. This is the Fanatic Edge exclusive one, by far the best exclusive or best Maverick S there is, in my opinion. I still have not taken this apart. I think I do need to, because I kind of want to see if I can get it to drop more, but it's just such a thin blade. I don't think it will. But, skiffs might be cool to try out. I don't know. Maybe I won't. But yeah, the Maverick S, this has got Chad Nichols Zircuti on the pivot collars, the thumb studs, the clip, and the backspace are absolutely stunning. Then you have this black pearl, I think it is, camo carbon. You have a dead nut centered, what I believe is actually a 20 CV blade. Could be M390, but I think it's 20 CV on this one. Beautiful hollow grind. I mean, this thing is an absolutely perfect EDC knife for me. The sheep's foot blade, absolutely love this thing. And it's the only knife from Blade Show that I kept. I bought like 12 or 13 knives. I sold them all almost immediately when I got home. And this one was a no-brainer to not sell. And I still own it, obviously, to this day. Still love it. I carried this today, actually. I found out today because somebody left me a comment. Shout out to you, dude, whoever you are. He's like, how come you never reverse flick it like the burger? You can reverse flick it like a burger. You can reverse flick off the hollow grind, I guess, which is absolutely incredible. I'm just like, well, because it has thumb studs, so I just, I just flick the studs. If a knife has studs, I don't think to like hit it underneath the stud and flick it, but I'll be damned, it does work, and you can fire it out that way. So just so you guys know, if you have one of these and maybe you don't like doing the vertical, punch with the stud, you can get under there and pop it. I haven't tried it right-handed much, so that's why I'm fucking up. But here you go. Boom. Fires out. Love the ergos. Titanium liner lock. Riot is really the only company I will trust with a non-insert titanium liner lock. So there you go. That's the Maverick S from Christensen Knife Works. Absolutely fantastic. And if you're talking best EDC knife of the year so far, this might be it. Perfect compact package and everything. So we roll into, I believe, quarter 3 now because, well, there's a whole segment here that we're going to have to talk about, but I think I'm going to wait till the end. So I'll get all these out of the way, and then the people who want to roll their eyes when I get to that part can roll their eyes. It's not fidgets, don't worry. All right, so next, quarter 3, I think the next one I got was the TW Price Dawn. I did not get in on the pre-order, but I was lucky enough to snag one of these on the drop. And this is an absolutely just bonkers good knife. Tyler is a cool dude, great dude, and this design is, for a first design, man, it's just so elegant, so clean. It just, yeah, the kid has a very bright future. If you're looking for those ultra clean designs, he's going to be hard to beat. I would put him sort of in the category with Sharp by Design. I'm not saying not the engineering stuff and all that. We'll see as he grows, like what happens. But I'm talking about like the just crisp and cleanliness of the design work, the crispness. He just has an eye. I mean, look at the lines. It's hard to explain what I'm trying to say, but if you look at these two knives, I think you can kind of get the gist, right? They're just beautifully crafted designs. Just the way everything flows together, chamfers, just all of that stuff for me. The only thing I obviously prefer over here is how the flipper tab goes straight off the handle. This comes out at the front. There's some other things like where the blade tucks into the handle. It feels a little bit short here, like you have a lot of handle, but those are like ultra nitpicks. But anyway, I got this in Q3, and one of the best knives this year. Titanium handle with M390 hand satin blade. It was $290. This one I believe was $495 or $485 in that version, but it started at like $380. This one started at like $260, I think, with the Stonewash blade. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. Sorry, I thought I had the charger. Oh, the charger's dead. That's why. My phone's giving me low battery. Hang on. Just make sure it kicks on. We good? Oops. I think we're good. Okay. Yeah, just an absolutely stunning knife. I don't know where I was, but luckily I've had no issues with the bead blasting in the fuller there. I haven't had it rust at all. And the knife itself is just beautiful. Some changes I would make, which he's already doing this because he's doing a second run now. He's doing a liner lock, which is really cool. I would love to see a backspacer, just something that ties it in a little bit more than standoffs, but I think he did that for cost-saving measure because this was, again, his first design. He was just trying to get people to buy it and, you know, get it out there. There's a little bit of lock rock. Otherwise, it's really solid. I don't think it's, you know, any type of an issue. Like, I don't think it's going to slip, but there's a little bit of rock there. So, anyway, this knife is fantastic. So, Q3 starts off hot with the TW Price Dawn. And I think the last one, let me hit up a couple of honorables. So, one that I got recently is the Protech Knives mordax in Magna Cut. So the reason this is not a actual contender or whatever is because the mordax has existed for years. But Protech is bringing it back, and it's no longer a drop, you know, version of it or whatever. And so it's sort of a relaunch, and I believe they're actually launching at dealers like this week as I record this, which will probably be next week for you guys, or last week, sorry, for you guys. And they've definitely changed some things. The detents on these are much crisper. Like, I can't fail it, which is an improvement. Trust me, you could before, and it feels nice and snappy. I love the flipper tab. Farron Forge always kills it with the flipper tab. This cool green G10 inlay. This was a what is it? USN The Gathering exclusive one, but they're going to be probably doing different ones at different shows, which is cool. And I have really enjoyed it. I think a hollow grind regrind would be clutch on this. There's some kind of weird thing going on here with the grind, but really cool knife. I've actually enjoyed this one quite a bit since I got it, more so than I expected to. Honestly, so that's an honorable mention. And then just last week I picked up the F5.5 in a new variation. This is a hand satin, so this is kind of like the year of the hand satin for me, sort of. That's 3 on the table right now, and if you count my Trevor Burger Urban that I think I got at some point this year, that is a hand satin as well. I think that's it, but that's quite a few hand satins for me personally, who doesn't really say they like hand satins, you know what I mean? I've got this one dialed. It's got that beautiful hand satin M390 blade. And then it's got the titanium frame. And then, of course, I have the Lynch Northwest clip. See, I already scratched shit out of it, but that's how it goes. And I just really dig it. Got it on skiffs. She's dialed in. I mean, look at that. Oh, man. Nice detent. Absolutely a wonderful piece. The F5 has always been one of my favorite production knives. I didn't have one in the collection for a little while, but it is back. It is a titanium liner lock with no insert. So again, like the Maverick S Riot, I totally trust with that. So there's another honorable mention. This has been out for a while, so that's why it wouldn't go in that category. So the last one, Q3, the Bestech Knives Tonic. So this is actually one of Colin's designs, my partner on Devo, and I apologize, I carry this one quite a bit, and guess I got some tape gunk on there. Man, any chance I get to show off some knife shield, I guess I will. So I'll show you how good this shit is. Shake it up, spray it on, and then just rub it into the blade. Wipe it off. And look at that. Oh, wait. There it goes. I'm like, what? No way. What tape is this that can overcome the knife shield? There's no such thing. So anyway, we now have a clean blade. This is Colin's design with Bestech. And I first saw this at Blade Show. I saw the prototypes. And then they dropped, I don't know, like a month or so ago. And I picked up this one with the belt satin and the marble carbon fiber. I actually got a blacked out one first, but that one didn't work for me. I had some kind of action thing going on, or I don't know. So I traded that one in and got this one. And I'm glad I did, because I really wanted this one to begin with. I was just trying to be cute and get the black wash one or whatever. But this knife is unique as hell. And yes, Colin designed it, so you can call me biased if you want. That's fine. And I probably am, right? It's kind of hard not to be when your business partner puts a knife out and whatever. So what I find awesome about this knife is it's different. It's not a traditional lock. It's not. That's kind of the thing this year, I guess, right? You know, with the brown lock and the factor, the M lock, and now this one. It's a backlock, which is very not. It's just not something we see a lot anymore. And he added the IBBL, I think he calls it. It's the inset ball backlock system, and there's basically a detent ball on the inside of the spring right there. So the tang of the blade here is riding on that detent ball. You can see the line it's making. It makes it very smooth. And it also adds what's basically a detent. So right here, you hit that ball, right? And if you just pop past it, it fires out, like completely different than any other lockback. You can reverse flick it fairly easily. I mean, yes, I can't just do it like just put pressure on it and, you know, do it that way. But if I give it any gas on the way out, it fires all the way out. It's super unique and cool. If anybody's wondering, because it doesn't have a choil, you're like, oh crap, if it falls on my finger, it's going to cut me. There's a point where that won't happen. As long as you put your finger up to this point right here. So I just find that sort of point, that hump, and you put your finger there. If the blade comes down, it can't cut you. You'll get hit by the bottom part of the blade right here. So that's the safe spot on this knife. This one's still breaking in. If I shake it, it'll come down like that. But there you go. I cut myself a few times early on, and then Colin was like, dude, you can just put your finger there. And I was like, oh, shit. Yes, you can. Some people do the weird thing where they can, like, I don't even know how they do it. They kind of, like, push in, and then they, like, take this finger around, and then I guess that works, too. Dead nut centered, skiff bearings, fantastic knife. Now, here's the thing. This is a fantastic user. So it looks really cool to me. It looks unique. It has that unique feature. It's fidgety in the sense that it's got the back lock. It fires out. You know, you can swing it down like that. You can reverse flick it. So it does cool stuff, and it's fidgety. But it also is a fantastic user. And that's where I think some of these separate themselves for me. These three right here are beautiful users because they have that sheep's footy blade, because they're in that smaller size range. You know, with the Dawn, you know, the hand satin makes me a little afraid to use it. It's got sort of a choil here, which is fine, but I don't know. It works fantastically, and I'm not trying to argue this is not a good knife to use, but it doesn't have the low tip that I'm looking for on the brown FSD. It's just too gargantuan. No matter how much choil you give me, it's hard for me to do what I want to do with this, cutting shipping labels and such. And the same thing kind of goes here. It's not the clip point, but that tip is still pretty raised up for me. And they all work really well for EDC. They're fine. I'm not complaining. But these are fantastic. This one has this beautiful place for your finger right here. You can choke up like this. Colin has this really unique sort of like sheep's point, I call it, kind of, because it's like almost like a spear point, but it drops down. And it just lends itself to really good cuts. So I got a storm coming in, which is really loud. And then the Maverick S, you know, you have that beautiful sheep's foot blade with that hollow grind, and again, just perfect for my type of cutting. And then the factor is the same way. You know, you have that choil here. Oh, I just stabbed myself right in the finger. Right there. But again, really easy to utilize like that. This is probably the one I've used the most just because I have had it longer than the Tonic. This one I don't carry as much just because of how fancy it is, I guess. But I do use it when I do. But these two I use a lot. I just haven't had this one as long as this one. So it'll catch up probably. But this one has gotten a lot of use. I've cut a lot of stuff with this, which means I've used this tip a lot. And I'm a little worried about the tip. I need to maybe get it sharpened and get that honed in a little bit. I don't know. So these would be my folding knives, Q3. This is where we're at with locking knives. So there's your hint for what's coming next. These 6 would be the Contenders moving into Q4. Now, we could end up at the end of the year and I might remove 1 or 2 of these. They may have been sold, or I might not think they're in the running anymore, or I'm just a dude recording in my little bedroom office. I might fucking forget that I chose one, okay? You think I go back and watch the last one before I do the next one? No, I probably already forgot one that you guys saw in the last one, or I sold it or whatever. So, fantastic knives. You have the TW Price Dawn. You have the Craig Brown Knives FSD. You have the Winter Blade Factor. You have the Matt Christensen Maverick S Fanatic Edge exclusive. You have the Sharp by Design Mini Tempest. You have, oh, I did forget one. You have the CM Knife Designs Bestech Tonic, and then almost forgot because it's hiding in my case. I always forget about this knife. I don't forget about it. I just can't see it very well. You'll see in a second. This is 100% in the running, guys. This is the Urban EDC Supply Baby Barlow. So this is designed by Justin Lundquist, but it is an Urban EDC knife. And this could be the best knife of 2022. The only thing holding it back is probably the fact that it has this tip instead of a more sheep's foot tip. What is that? Tape? Oh, here we go. It's probably going to be a long one, guys. So just saying. We gotta hit both sides just to be safe. I think I did have Brent sharpen this, so it should be good to go. Probably just used it after. I really love using this knife. So the Baby Barlow from Urban EDC, just tiny, snappy goodness. I mean, it's really hard to get better. Another Urban EDC, the F5, just for size comparison. And you can see, this is not a big knife. This is like a 3-inch blade, maybe just under. And the Baby Barlow is just shrunk on this screen. Oops. Its action is incredible. Another one from Riot with the titanium liner lock with no insert. They know how to do it. That flipper tab is stupid good. It just catches your finger so well. The detent is perfect on this. You have a beautiful stonewash blade, M390 steel. The clip is absolutely fantastic. It's one of my favorite clips. This is one of my favorite knives ever made. It really is. There's just something so special about it. In this size, it really just makes me happy, this knife. If I'm being honest, if there's something I have to put on it, it's happiness. This knife makes me happy. So this would 100% be in the running. This was a Q2, I believe. So yeah, see, I told you I might forget something. It's in my case, but it sits so low in the pocket you can't see it. So like I forget about it until I actually think about it, not look at it, which is kind of a testament to this knife that I went through all that and then it popped in my mind. I was like, wait, where is the Baby Barlow, right? So absolutely love this knife. It is an absolute gem. If you can get your hands on one of these, you really should. And I hope they do more and more runs in different materials. So that was the folding locking knives. Now it's time to talk Jack Wolf. And I know this is getting old for some of you, but there's just no fucking way I'm doing a best of the best 2022 knife video of any kind, and these are not going to be in it. So I'm sorry that you have to endure this. You can turn the TV off if you like, turn your phone off, turn the video off right now. If you're not a slip joint guy, if you don't want to hear about me raving about Jack Wolfs, I just love them. Yeah, he sends me them to review every month, but I have bought, I think, every one of these except that one. This one is the one he sent me. But otherwise, I've actually gotten like a micarta one or whatever, where I've bought like 3 more and then I've sold some and whatever. I always try to buy one to support Ben because him giving me one to review is great. And it's obviously a marketing thing he does, but he knows I'm going to give an honest review. He chooses who to send them to, obviously, for various reasons. But I think for me, he knows, 1, I'm going to probably like it. But 2, I'm going to be honest and give nitpicks and things like that. Let me grab a drink. Got my LaCroix tangerine. Talking up a goddamn storm, huh? So, yeah, I like to support the brand, right? Like, yeah, he's not like this big conglomerate brand or something. He's giving me one every month to check out and review, but like, if I really like it, I want to support him by buying one with my own money, right? So I usually do. In this case, he sent me the exact one I would want, and it just worked out that way. And we'll see what happens going forward. But so Q1 we could talk about, I guess. I think this one was the only one in Q1. I think this came out in March, but I'm not positive. This is the Jack Wolf Knives Sharpshooter Jack. Oh, man. It's got some of the best walk and talk. Stupid comfortable. It's one of those where I was like, ugh, that does not look comfortable. And then got it in my hand and was like, damn. That happened at least twice with Jack Wolf Knives. And we'll get to the other one later. But beautiful dark matter blue. I've made sure to try to get the fat carbon version of each one. Now he's doing multiple fat carbons in each run, so I'm getting one of the fat carbons. If it's a pattern I really like, I might get multiples of the fat carbons, but I will at least have a fat carbon covered version of each Jack Wolf, and then have a gorgeous Northwoods Leatherworks slip to go with it. So guys, if you're into slip joints and slips and whatnot, you should check out Northwoods Leatherworks Co. because he makes by far the most badass slips on the planet. They're super thin and lightweight, and they just do what they're supposed to. They protect the knife, but they don't like take up extra space really. And they look so fucking good with his 7-stitch thing going on. And you can see he started in December, I think, of last year. So you can almost see his evolution as the knives go on. You see his slips get better. Sort of. They're already so good starting out, so it's hard to say. But anyway, I got the blue there with this dark matter blue sharpshooter. You get the beautiful hollow grind. This one has the clip point, obviously. M390, and then just something about it. I haven't tried the... Oh, yeah. There you go. So that's the sharpshooter. That was Q1, I believe. Q2, we have the laid back jack. What I like to call the laid back pickle jack, because kind of looks like a pickle in the jungle wear green fat carbon. And this is the Warney pattern. Swayback, sorry. Which usually has a Warney on it, I believe. You have the same beautiful belt satin hollow grind, full hollow grind. These knives are just stupid good users, and they look fantastic. They just have it going on, guys. I've raved about them enough. I don't want to go crazy, but this is the laid back pickle jack, and again, you have less blade here, right? It's a lot lighter, so you're not going to get as snappy walk and talk, but I don't know. You tell me what it sounds like. Sounds phenomenal. Good spring tension. Absolutely love the laid back pickle jack. And I believe also Q2, we had the midnight jack. Just fantastic. This might have been Q3, beginning of Q3. There was one in the middle after this one was the little bro jack, and that one got recalled because of blade wrap, and he took care of everything. No big deal. But that one that's a month that wasn't there. So I think maybe this was beginning Q2, and then this was Q2, and then little bro would have been end Q2. Yeah, it was May going into June. Yep. And then this was July, I believe. And then the next one, August. Yep. Okay. So this is Q3 then. This is the Midnight Jack. This is my favorite of the Jack Wolf knives so far. Possibly my favorite knife of the year. Just an absolute marvel. This one just has me personally. It's just like made for me. Triple fluted bolster. You get the extra space on the bolster than he does on any other one. That long strike pull, whatever you call it. The beautiful sheep's foot blade just melts into my hand. This is just made for me. Full hollow grind. You got that beautiful swedge. The walk and the talk. Oh. I mean, I could do that all fucking day with this knife. This thing, yeah, this is the one that was like, damn, Ben, you are a sick son of a bitch, bro. Love it. I could talk about this all day, so I'm going to chill. Then we had the Canine Jack. Look at that red slip, right? Look at that purple slip. Oh, my God, he's so good at matching these. Look at that. Oh. There's the green with the green. My goodness. What's in here, you wonder? Oh, yeah, that's right. That red, dark matter, fat carbon, black and red. Look at that. Oh, goodness. This is the Canine Jack, which is a spear point. Which, I'll be honest, I first saw it, and I was like, a dog leg pattern, right? I'm not a dog leg guy, guys. I mean, look at it. It looks weird. I don't like the bulbous spear point, but I got it in my hand. And this might be the best user out of the bunch. I mean, it just literally melts into your hand. That blade is stupid thin and slicey, and it just cuts cardboard like nobody's business. Whenever I do have to cut cardboard, this is the knife that ends up in my pocket for it. I just absolutely love it. Again, stupid. The walk and talk on these is just so good. Ugh. I still need to learn to do the thumb move? I'm just afraid. I'm a pussy. Canine Jack. Absolutely love it. And last but not least, the Benny's clip. We should have the newest one coming very soon. I took a stab at what it was on the live stream I had him on. It's October, so my guess was Vampire Jack with red lava flow fat carbon. Ben's a smart guy, and I think that he's smarter than me, so I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But we'll see what happens. This is the Benny's clip, and oh my God. Toxic green camo carbon. Apologies. You can see the difference there. It's pretty cool, actually. And then you have this neon green stitching on this beautiful slip from Troy over at Northwoods Leatherworks. And then, of course, you have a Lanny's clip pattern. The first one without a full hollow grind, but somehow he still got it to like 10 thousandths behind the edge. Absolutely a stunning looking knife. I've always thought the Lanny's clip looks phenomenal. I just don't love the rhino horn tip because it's belly up to tip, tip up swept. Just not for me. But it looks absolutely phenomenal. This one, for me, probably has the weakest action or walk and talk. And when I say weak, I don't mean spring tension-wise. I mean just how it feels in my hand. And it could just be this particular knife. I don't know. But it's not as snappy as the other one. It does snap from here out really well. But the jump is just a little more muted for me than the other ones. But, I mean, it's semantics. I still really like it. Also, without the full hollow grind, it's a little harder for me to grab here to open. It's not difficult. It's not like that. It's not like I can't do it. It's just me, again, nitpicking. But the looks are absolutely stunning on this knife, and it's a fantastic user as long as you're okay with the way the tip works for you. So let's see if I can do it. Did I do it to all of them? Boom. Got it. And then right into this gorgeous slip. Oh, yeah, there we go. So there it is, guys. That's your Jack Wolf Knives Q3 update. And they're all in the best knives of the year. There's just really no way I could do this video and not have all the Jack Wolfs in it. That's how good they are to me, guys. And part of it is that I'm new to slip joints, maybe. You know, I'm not going to say that is part of it because I can't be sure. But I think part of it is that I'm new to slip joints and it's exciting for me. And it's new and intriguing and I'm learning things and I'm doing something different. And all of that kind of adds up to excitement, right? And I think that's part of it. So, you know, if I was a seasoned slip joint guy, would these all be in the top knives of the year thing? I don't know, but they are for me. I love them. I'm so enamored with Jack Wolf knives, and now I'm just becoming enamored with slip joints to the point where I have more. Like I have the Ohio River Jack from traditionalpocketknives.com. I think this is another great offering. Now, I think if we're trying to put some things on the list that are lower price points, because I think a lot of the stuff I showed you is at least $250. I think everything I showed you is at least $250, maybe $300, or right around $300. This is like $145 or $160. This is a fantastic offering in that price range. 100%. If you gave me that price range and said Knives of the Year 2022, I'll put this one right here. Okay. Now, I don't have a bunch of budget stuff, honestly. Recently, I got this slip joint from Smoky Mountain Knife Works, the APTA. And, I mean, if you gave me a $20 to $40 price range and I had to give you Knives of the Year, I think I might put this on there. I've only had it for like 2 days, so it's hard to say. There's gaps you can see between the spring and the scales. It's not, you know, it's not perfect. It's kind of a little dirty in there. It's machined kind of poorly, honestly. You can see a lot of machine marks. It was rubbing when I got it. I had to tune the pivot a little bit to get it to where I wanted it. I stripped these screws already, trying to tighten them. But the walk and talk is stupid. It's addictive. Sounds fantastic. The blade is good. It's VG10. It cuts really well, and it's ergonomic in the hand. It's a cool knife, I gotta say. So, $20 these start at, or like $18. I think I can recommend the APTA, and I think I would put it on the best knives of the year list in that price range, because that's a gas station price range, guys. And that's really it. I mean, I don't have many of the Ashers here right now just because I've had them and rotated them and sent them out. But anything from Asher really would be in the running for that price range. The Douglas, the Thai Spiro, the CF Spiro, those would all be in the running. So that's it, guys. I know it was a long one. I apologize. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What's on your list? Do you have any questions? You know, whatever. What are you excited for Q4? And yeah, I love you guys. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you later.